Hello, this is a tutorial on MedlinePlus, a free online health information resource from the National Library of Medicine. What is MedlinePlus? It's an online health encyclopedia. Therefore, it's a reference tool that contains comprehensive information on the topic of personal health. It provides over 40,000 links to high-quality, reliable health information, and those links are sourced from over 1,600 vetted and authoritative organizations. The tool is created and maintained by the National Library of Medicine, which is part of the National Institutes of Health, a federal agency. It's available at medlineplus.gov. Why should you use MedlinePlus? It was launched in 1998 and has been updated regularly in the decades since. It is completely free and has no advertisement, which is a great feature when compared against similar sites like WebMD. You don't have to worry about running into any intrusive advertisements. There are no logins or personal information created. You don't have to create any accounts. You don't have to remember any passwords, and it isn't going to track your information or anything like that. It's easy to read for the general public, and many topics are written at that 5th to 8th grade reading level. So you don't have to be a doctor, you don't have to have a nurse, you don't have to have a medical degree to be able to understand the information presented here. And it's available in both English and Spanish, and it's easy to toggle between the two. And there's also additional select health information provided for over 50 other languages. Now, with any kind of personal health information resource, you want to have a disclaimer as well. This is the medical information disclaimer provided by the National Library of Medicine. You're going to want to refer to this when you're using the resource yourself or if you want to share it with others. Remember, it is only provide general health information to provide for your own use. It's not going to replace consulting a doctor or asking a doctor for their qualified professional opinion. And that link to the policies in this disclaimer is available on this slide. This is what we're going to go over with our overview of MedlinePlus. We're going to go over the health topics, including browsing and searching, a couple different ways. Drugs and supplements, how to access the medical test information, how to access information about health videos, how to write to the help desk, and then some additional ways you might share MedlinePlus with others. Let's dive in, shall we? This is the MedlinePlus homepage. As you can see, it's very clean and easy to use. There are no advertisements. There's a nice search box up in the upper right of the page. There's a header and some sidebars with information. And I want you to focus your attention at the bottom of the page. At the bottom, you can see there is a small section that tells you when the page was last updated and a link to that page. That's very helpful when accessing health information. You might need to know how long ago it was updated. They do have a very clear policy for updating pages frequently, but this way you can tell how current is the actual information on any given page you're looking at in MedlinePlus. Now let's get into the actual topics that we wanted to see. We're going to start off by looking at the health topics section. Health topics is probably one of the most prominent things in MedlinePlus. As you can see, there's a couple ways to access it. There is right under the header there, it's the first thing on the left, health topics. And then in the sidebar along the left, it's also one of the first choices you have there. So we'll go ahead and start by selecting health topics. And then just for this example, we're going to look at how to access information about gallstones. So first we're going to start off by just browsing rather than searching. So to browse for it, well, we're going to look in the digestive system. As you see, when you browse health topics, it presents them in a variety of categories. So you can just browse through the information. We're going to select digestive system here. And from the digestive system page, you can see it presents a nice graphic showing all the digestive system. And then below that would just be all the topics in the digestive system category alphabetically. So we're interested in gallstones, so we're going to select gallbladder. You can either select the picture of the gallbladder, or on the right, you can select the gallbladder topic category. Once you've done that, the gallbladder will be highlighted. And from there, you can select gallstones in the little sidebar that appears. And here we finally are on the gallstones health topics page. As you can see on this page, the first thing it gives us is a nice on this page list and lots of links to all the various sections of this page. Right below that is the summary. The summary is going to give you some basic information, again, at a 5th to 8th grade reading level, very easy to comprehend and understand. And then below that is all those additional sections, and those are all links to other verified sources. You're going to see what website it's linking to, if it's part of the National Institutes of Health, lots of other information there. So this is a great kind of overview summary page of gallstones. This is what you're going to see on most of the health topic pages. Now, a key feature I'd like to point out here is that you can easily toggle between Spanish and English on any page you're on in MedlinePlus. So as you can see in the upper right below that search box, there's a link to toggle between Espanol and English. And if you click that, it will take you on the same page. It'll just toggle the language. So that can be really helpful when you're working with somebody else. You can navigate to the page in your preferred language and then swap it over to their language so that they can more easily digest and understand it. So just wanted to really highlight that. That works on anywhere on MedlinePlus. So we did the browsing method to find the information on gallstones, but there is of course another method, which is the search method. To search for something, you just put in the search box up there in the upper right. We'll just type in gallstones here and then click go after that. Once we've done that, we pull up the search page. As you can see on the search page, it's given us a nice summary right there about gallstones, which is very helpful. But you can see we have over 267 results here, so we might want to narrow those in. There's a nice refine by type feature, and you'll see that in the left sidebar. We can select health topics to just get the health topics information. Once we've done that, it's going to limit it down to just the 8 health topics that include information about gallstones, and the one we're interested in most appears there right at the top. And if we click on that, you'll see it takes us back to that gallstones page we saw previously for that health topic. So those are 2 different ways to access, is by browsing or by searching, whichever method is easier for you. Great. Now we're going to move on to the category for drugs and supplements information. MedlinePlus has a lot of information about prescription drugs, over-the-counter medicines, herbs, other supplements. That's all contained in the drugs and supplements information. So again, we can browse these or we can search those. We'll start by browsing. Clicking on those, you're going to get to the drugs and herbs and supplements. Now, the wonderful thing here about being able to search for drugs is you can browse by generic or brand name. It will understand both, so you don't have to know what the generic is. You can just search by whatever the brand name is. And in this case, we're going to look at all the various Tylenol products, and there are quite a few. So we'll start by selecting T on this page. This will take us to the whole list of T, and I've scrolled down and narrowed in just on the Tylenol products. There are quite a few of them. And as you can see, some of these Tylenol products are combination products. So they're listed as whatever they are for Tylenol, and then all the products that they contain, and then a link to those. So for instance, here I've highlighted, we're going to look at Tylenol Cold and Flu Severe. It has a combination of several different things, and we're going to look at the phenylephrine portion of this combination product. So we'll go ahead and select that. And phenylephrine shows up here, and this is similar to our health topics page. It has a header at the top that contains links to all the various sections on the page. All the drugs and supplements pages are similar like this. It's going to tell you why it's prescribed, how it should be used, other uses, precautions you should follow, special dietary instructions, what you should do if you forget a dose, side effects, lots of additional information than all the brand names it's listed under. So again, it can give you a lot of information about particular drugs and supplements you might come across. Now, the next section we're going to look at here is the medical test section. So if your doctor is ordering a medical test, or you have someone who's interested in finding out more about a particular medical test, this has a lot of information on what to expect and sort of before and after care. So if you select the medical test, again, you can do this by searching, but you can also select medical test from the header or from the sidebar. And then you'll get a whole list of all the various medical test information they have. We'll start off by taking a look at the aldosterone test. So I'll just select aldosterone here. And this is what a medical test page looks like. It's going to tell you what it's used for, why would you need one, what do you need to do to prepare for one, what do the results mean. And then this has some information, anything else you might need to know. And for instance, for the aldosterone test, it's going to tell you that licorice can affect results. So you want to make sure you don't have any real licorice ahead of time. So anyway, that's how to take a look at the medical tests. One of the next tools we're going to look at here is the Videos and Tools section. So the Videos and Tools section here is found right there at the top in the sidebar right under the search box. And this gives you a variety of options. You can look at some health videos, you can do some health check tools and some games. We're going to focus on the health videos because I find these very helpful. If you select health videos, the health video section will provide a number of different videos of short little animations that describe some body systems, some disease, some syndrome, something that you might want to understand more about in a simple to understand animation. So this can be really helpful to share with other folks. So finally, perhaps you didn't find exactly what you were looking for, or you're looking for more detailed health information that MedlinePlus doesn't have. Well, the great news is that because this is by the National Library of Medicine, you are able to contact their librarians and they can help you find more health information. So the way to do that is right under the search box, there's a customer support link. If you go ahead and click on that, that will take you to their knowledge base for the National Library of Medicine. From there, in the upper right, you'll see a link to Write to the Help Desk. When you click on that, that will give you a nice simple form where you can submit your request for additional health information resources. All you need is a name, email address, and then a description of what you need, and then they will be able to provide you with additional health information. A really handy feature for all the stuff that MedlinePlus doesn't cover. So finally, hopefully you found that MedlinePlus might be a useful resource for yourself and you might want to share it with others. The key ways to do that, you could talk about with other library staff and stakeholders. Just tell them about it. I find that not a lot of people know about MedlinePlus and this amazing free resource that's available. You can create web browser bookmarks and shortcuts on library computers, make it real easy to access MedlinePlus from a library computer. You can post signs on your reference and nonfiction health shelving sections. That way, if folks are looking for health information, they'll also know that the MedlinePlus would be an option that they could go look for very current, accurate information. Brochures are available and handouts that you can print out from the MedlinePlus section. You can put those out for people to take, and that way they can passively receive information about MedlinePlus and check it out on their own time. You can also share it on social media. They have a social media toolkit with some various links and images you could share with others. I hope you found this tutorial helpful, and if you have more questions, feel free to reach out to me at the Idaho Commission for Libraries. Thank you very much, and hope you have a great day.